I am the architect. I value certain ideas. These certain ideas are my values. I value truths. I value the most optimistic myths. I use my values. I build within my mind. I build my model of the existence of one totality. My model of the existence of one totality includes both a foundation of truth and knowledge of theory and a framework of myth. The foundation of truth and knowledge of theory imposes limits upon the framework of myth. Within these limits, I am free to create. I create a most optimistic framework of myth. My high valuation of the most optimistic framework of myth enables me. I balance the emotional forces of my mind. Emotional balance in my mind is conducive to happiness and good health in my life. My values act on my emotions. The power of the forces are proportional to the credibility of my values. For that reason, I stay within the limits set by truth and knowledge of theory. I prevent lies and ignorance from entering into my model of the existence of one totality. I give my most optimistic framework of myth credibility. My most optimistic framework of myth is fluid. My most optimistic framework of myth remains unverifiable. My most optimistic framework of myth remains unfalsifiable. My most optimistic framework of myth changes with a growing understanding of truth and knowledge of theory. My most optimistic framework of myth is about our world, our future, and us. For that reason, it is relevant. Let us suppose. I make up my mind about myself. I make up my mind about my world. In that event, I am the authority. Let us suppose. A community of faithful believers makes up my mind about myself. A community of faithful believers makes up my mind about my world. In that event, the community of faithful believers is the authority. Let us suppose. Some people self-organize into a community of faithful believers. The community of faithful believers is the authority. Let us suppose further. Their leaders attempt to unite all minds under one way of ornamenting a model of the existence of one totality with myths. Let us suppose still further. Their members think, believe, and expect. They are worshipping exactly the same spirit. In that event, they delude themselves. No two individuals, no two communities of faithful believers, no two ideological authorities, no two denominations have exactly the same way of ornamenting a model of the existence of one totality with myths. For that reason, seminal religious organizations fracture into various denominations, combinations, and permutations. Rather than seeking to compel all to unite under one model of the existence of one totality, I advocate for diversity, variety, and freedom of expression.